It's a heck of a show with Michael Brown.
You're on the radio.
On KOA News Radio.
Well, we stumbled into the studio. We finally made it in. I will be not going to Dayton, Ohio, as originally planned. A strip club in Dayton bit off more than they could chew after losing their liquor license, following an investigation that had proved that it had been allowing customers to use food stamps to buy lap dances and drugs. All the good spots are going away. What? You came running.
Did you want something?
No. What? I know it's late, and I know we're just getting started, but no, I don't want anything. I'm concerned about the strip club in Dayton, Ohio. During their 5-month investigation, the Ohio undercover popo used over $2,400 in food stamps to buy the dances. Where did the Ohio undercover agents get the food stamps to use to go into the strip club to buy the lap dances? Is anybody going to reimburse the state of Ohio or the federal government for those food stamps? According to the reports, the Ohio Investigative Unit began the investigation into 2250 Inc., also known as Sharky's Bar. We better call the Shark. I wonder if this is his bar. Officially closing the adult entertainment establishment on Thursday. Criminal charges were filed against patrons and employees for drug trafficking, food stamp trafficking, distribution of heroin, aggravated shipment, engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity, and illegal sexual activity. And when I read that, I thought, are they talking about the Congress, or are they talking about a strip club? Listen again. Criminal charges were filed against the patrons and employees for drug trafficking, food stamp trafficking, distribution of heroin, aggravated shipment. What's is that just like when you go to FedEx and you're mad? Aggravated shipment? Engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity and illegal sexual activity. They filed 44 charges. They were eventually heard by the Liquor Control Commission, including drug sale, drug possession, engaging in the same old crap, right? Oh, man. All the good places are disappearing. There's two stories I want to tie together. Let's first go to Seattle. So the Starbucks is now installing needle disposal boxes in bathrooms, as well as exploring other solutions to address worker concerns regarding improperly discarded syringes and the related health risks. Cairo reports.
Images taken inside a Seattle Starbucks by an employee who says her life is in jeopardy every day on the job.
Well, yes, but not because of the syringes necessarily, just because of the uppity people that walk into a Starbucks and start rattling off, 15,000 ingredients in their little latte grande or whatever. Oh.
You shouldn't have to be worrying about HIV and Hep C at a coffee shop.
There's the quote of the night. You should not have to be worried about hepatitis C or HIV working in a coffee shop. Who says we're not a third world country? Who says that we're not turning into an S-hole country when you have to point out, little mistress of the obvious here, that you shouldn't have to worry about HIV or Hep C in a coffee shop? Well...
KIRO 7 investigates after baristas come forward with their health fears after getting poked by needles at work. All 3 employees provided KIRO 7 with hospital, pharmacy, and insurance receipts that show they took antiviral medications to protect them from AIDS and hepatitis. Hello again, I'm Steve Rabel.
I'm Monique Minglavan. Now, Starbucks says it will reimburse them for the treatments, but the baristas believe the company could do more to protect its employees before they're poked by needles.
Like not allowing drug addicts into the... I mean, what happened to the idea? I get that Starbucks... Now, Howard Schultz, or whatever his name was, the founder and former CEO of Starbucks, is gone, and the new CEO of Starbucks has announced that in some sort of company-wide memo or something, or an interview with some business network, he claimed, "I am not the old CEO. I am the new CEO." I think he's trying to distance himself a little bit from this utter dumbassery, because just think about it. You generally reserve your restrooms in a business for customers and employees. But Starbucks decided, because that would be racist to say you've got to buy a latte before you can take a whiz. Yep, they just open the bathrooms to anybody. And isn't it fascinating? I find it absolutely fascinating how you have all of these, these do-gooders, the cultural Marxists, the people that just think, they don't think logically, and all they think is they just think with emotion only. And somehow it's a good idea. Why we're Starbucks, and we've got homeless people outside our door. We should allow them to come in and shoot up and take a dump and take a whiz.
They recently shared their concerns only with KIRO 7's Amy Clancy.
Well, we started hearing from Starbucks baristas concerned about discarded needles they were finding on the job. After digging into state documents, we learned the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries was also concerned enough to investigate, fine the company, and order it to make changes. Image after image reveal what 3 baristas say they dispose of nearly every day. Hypodermic needles left behind by drug users.
They put them in the tampon disposal boxes in the bathrooms, and we have to dig them out.
We have to dig them out. Now, Business Insider reports the coffee giant is exploring remedies after employees expressed fears about being pricked by uncapped needles and experiencing related health risks. Starbucks is testing solutions. What, like telling people, no, you can't use the restroom, or you got to buy something first? No, including think of what kind of mindset it takes that you've got a problem where you've got this dumbass policy that says anybody, anywhere, anytime can come in and take a whiz and take a dump, right? So naturally, what are you going to? You're going to attract the dregs of society. So the dregs of society start filling into the Starbucks, shooting up, leaving their needles, and walking out without doing anything. Now, if you owned a business, let's say you owned a small coffee shop somewhere, and for whatever stupid reason, you thought, you know what, I'm just going to let anybody use the restroom. I'm not going to, that Michael Brown will call me racist on the radio. Something bad's going to happen, so I'm going to just allow everybody to come in here and take a whiz. And sure enough, everybody does. And they start shoving their syringes. By the way, wouldn't they be concerned about keeping their syringes? Or is that another aspect of a policy gone awry with unintended consequences? Because I thought the problem used to be that they would always reuse the same syringes, the same needles, and that would transmit HIV and Hep C and other diseases. And so then we decided, well, we'll just start giving out free needles to everybody. And now that's led to, oh, I don't need to keep this syringe and this needle. I can just dispose of it right here in the Starbucks. You see how all these stupid policies begin to just kind of mushroom into, oh, speaking of mushrooms, we're going to legalize magic mushrooms in Denver. Jiminy Christmas. I mean, Democrats have been in control for what, like 2 days now, and we're going to improve magic mushrooms? I don't get it. But anyway, so let's go back to the Business Insider. Starbucks representative Reggie Borges told Business Insider that these societal issues affect us all and can sometimes place our partners, employees, they call their employees partners, in scary situations, which is why we have protocols and resources in place to ensure our partners are out of harm's way. So they're seeking solutions, and they're testing solutions. And what do you think they are? They're going to install Sharps disposal boxes. They're going to start using heavier-duty trash bags to prevent needle pokes. And they're actually going to take the trash cans out of certain restrooms. So now they can just throw the needles on the floor. I never cease to be amazed at just how stupid things can be. One manager who works at a Starbucks location in Southern California said, "I think the bathroom policy has definitely changed the store's environment." Angie, have you been to Starbucks lately? I think I ask you this about once a month.
Yeah, I have not been lately, though.
You have not. Would you go to a Starbucks tomorrow and just stick your hand like down in the, like in the restrooms here, we got where they throw the paper towels in? I want you to walk into a Starbucks and just cram your hand down into like the tampon disposal thing, which they apparently have in Starbucks, and into the wastebasket, and then just tell me how many needle pricks you get.
Will you pay for all those vaccines I will need to get if poked?
Oh yeah, no, not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got socialized medicine, so you'll be well taken care of.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. By the way, would you videotape that too and put it on Instagram for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because I think everybody'd like to see that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think everybody'd just like to see you walking into a Starbucks and just see what kind of stuff you order. What would you order if you went into a Starbucks right now?
A London.
Because last night you were desperate for caffeine.
And I got some.
Oh, you did?
Eventually, it was not very good.
Well, yeah, you went to the crappy coffee maker out here, right?
No, but then I went to the one that I know I made like a giant pot. It was like really big, one of those giant thermoses, and I had like half a cup out of it and left the rest of it.
So this morning somebody came in and tried that and went, "Ugh, this has been sitting out all night long."
Yeah.
And then they drank it anyway.
Probably.
So here's how I wanted to tie two stories together. I have the solution for Starbucks. It's at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It's quite simple.
Check out this smart toilet from Kohler. It's Alexa enabled, costs $7,000. Users can control the toilet's features with their voice, including playing music, adjusting lighting, as well as checking news and weather. The toilet will be available later this year.
But does it heat and spray like Japanese toilets, which are the best?
Either way, I think too much. Keep it simple.
No, I think you can innovate a toilet.
Entertainment seat.
An entertainment toilet. That is it, though.
Look at how useful that would be in our prep.
Well, I don't know. I'd rather do that at the desk. That's it for Closing Bell today.
Alexa, flush. Hey, I'm going to... I hope somebody's got the radio on next to their Alexa. Hey, Alexa, flush the toilet. Hey, Alexa, check for needles. Hey, Alexa. Why is that a news story? Free companion pass. I'm not going to tell you which station it's on, but free companion pass with Southwest credit card sign up. Why is that a news story? That's native advertising right there. I don't get it. I don't. Then again, I don't get a lot of stuff. Mothers are shocked as their daughters come home from college with mustaches, breasts removed. For years, college officials have told students that gender is a choice. They've pressured all students to announce their preferred pronoun. Oh, Angie, I was filling out something today, and it asked me for my preferred pronoun. And one of the options was none of the above.
What?
Yes.
So does that mean you're like a nothing?
Yes, I selected none of the above, just for the hell of it. Isn't that stupid?
Yeah.
I mean, Jiminy Christmas. Oh. They have pressured all students to announce their preferred pronouns on name tags and in emails as gender fluidity is normalized. Gender fluidity is caused by climate change. They've celebrated students who choose to transition as brave warriors. They provided the medical tools necessary for students to transition. In fact, a recent column in the Wall Street Journal reports that health plans at 86 colleges, including those of nearly every Ivy League school, cover not only cross-sex hormones, but surgery as well. Whoa. Then we have some stories. This is Pam's story. I got time for Pam's story. Our daughter went off to the college of her dreams. She seemed to do well her first year away. During her second year at college, she experienced a mental health breakdown. We received sketchy details of her struggles from her and a couple of her friends. There was no outreach from the college due to privacy concerns. Wait a minute, you're the parent. Ugh. Following much pleading on our part, she came home for a visit. We were met with a very different visage upon picking her up at the airport. Her face was covered in acne. She sprouted an obvious mustache. Her entire appearance was disheveled. After allowing her to settle in at home, we expressed concern about her appearance and demeanor. This was met with hostility. Her voice was somewhat deeper, I might note here. She seemed very disturbed, not at all her old self. What was she like before this? No, not a tomboy as a child. She was an ambitious student, an animal lover. She loved to spend time in the kitchen baking. As for gender, she was typical, parentheses, whatever that means, close parentheses. For her high school prom, she had her hair and makeup professionally styled. She wore an elegant gown, which revealed ample cleavage. As for her friend group in high school, she aligned herself with social activist. You know, it used to be your parents would tell you, don't hang around with those kids. Those kids are trouble. Do not hang around with those. Those are the bad kids. And now you got to say, don't hang around with social activists. While our daughter was visiting, continuing Pam's story, we asked her what was wrong. I inquired about the acne and the mustache. That's not natural, I said. She insisted that she had always had a mustache. Not true. Before we knew what had hit us, she returned to college. We discovered that she had obtained testosterone in the student clinic, and she now refuses all contact with her family. And Pam's story ends with, her college was complicit in all of this. Emma's story. Emma, our daughter who's 19, went off to college last year. Over the next few months, her look began to change toward more masculine, and we made a guess that she might be experimenting with sexuality. Little did we know, there was a much bigger bomb she was about to drop. It turned out that during her freshman year, she, quote, socially transitioned, going by a boy name and he pronouns, and she announced she is ready to start counseling to get hormones, followed by top surgery. Insert your own joke. We are working very hard to hold off the hormones, putting tuition on the line. That's parenting right there. Oh, you want to do this? Then you can pay for college yourself. Our daughter fits the typical description of a young woman affected by this craze. Very bright, extreme social justice warrior, highly creative, socially awkward, ADHD, Asperger's spectrum, OCD, obsessive. That's normal? Wait a minute. Our daughter... Whoa, let's backtrack just a moment. Our daughter fits the typical description of a young woman affected by this craze. Very bright, check. Extreme social justice warrior, X. Highly creative, check. Socially awkward, okay. ADHD, I can't say anything. Asperger's spectrum, maybe me too, I don't know. OCD, obsessive interest, I better not say anything. That's normal? That's what they now think their child is normal? She went from hating white males to now wanting to become one and wanting to chemically and surgically mutilate her body. And the professionals have no advice other than to support her in making her transition. And of course, this is insanity, the parent writes. It makes no sense other than it started after a close friend transitioned at the end of high school and she entered college and began to hang out in the dedicated queer dorm. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Are you listening to me in there? Good grief. Good night, everybody. I think we're done for the night, Angie. I don't think we can top this. I don't think we can top it. You're listening to Michael Brown on News Radio, on KOA News Radio, 850 AM, 94.1 FM, and always at KOANewsRadio.com.
Tomorrow on Colorado's Morning News.
Looking at the race for the White House in 2020.
Who will the Democrats put forward? We'll have a deeper dive at 9:10.
And we get reaction to the governor's first State of the State.
Plus, the snow is back. Join us on KOA News Radio.
You know, I told you a few years ago I turned down endorsing a solar company because when I looked at the financials and the business model, it just didn't make any free energy for your house. You see, you own those solar panels. You're not renting them, which is what most companies do. This puts more money in your pocket and increases your home's value. And when Zoetic puts solar panels on your roof, they're also going to insulate your attic, put in a smart home thermostat, saves you even more money. The other reason I like Zoetic, they're Colorado-owned and operated. Great guys right here in Denver. So if you've been thinking about solar, call Zoetic right now for a free quote. 888-637-4447. That's 888-637-4447.
Never saw it as a problem when I was younger. 2 cigarettes, 3 cigarettes. It wasn't a habit. My mom, she was always like, you need to get rid of them. Gave the Juul a real chance and found out I liked it. Found out it really works. The switch was easy. It was a no-brainer, really. This came from her, really.
Patrick made the switch December 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This is how it feels to get health insurance from Bright Health. This is how it feels when that plan saves you hundreds. And this is how it feels when you get more benefits than you'd expect, thanks to our partnership with CHN. For a plan you can actually feel good about, pick Bright Health. Open enrollment ends soon. To enroll, visit brighthealthplan.com. Join, save, be happy. For a 40-year-old male non-smoker purchasing a Bright Health Bronze plan in Denver and Summit or a Gold plan in Colorado Springs and Boulder.
Open Thursday through Sunday, the International Sportsman's Expo this week in Denver. Try the gear, buy the trips, meet the pros. The Sportsman's Expo, open Thursday through Sunday at the Colorado Convention Center.
After 30 years in the Rhino District, Stonecrafters is moving, and you get the savings. Save 80% off of granite, exotic slabs, quartz, and even cabinetry. Stop in today, 35th and Walnut. Stonecrafters.
If you have sleep apnea, the sound of snoring and leaking air may be keeping you up all night. If CPAP just isn't working, there's now a silent, mask-free sleep solution called Inspire. Inspire works inside your body with your natural breathing process. It delivers mild stimulation throughout the night to keep your airway open, giving you a restful night's sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more and review important safety information. A sleep solution for you is just a click away at InspireSleep.com.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-2480. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-2480. That's 800-993-2480.
KBCO HD3 Boulder. This is an iHeartRadio station.
KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1 FM. The 50,000-watt blowtorch of the Rocky Mountain West.
KOA News Radio time is 10 o'clock. I'm Roger Hudson. Our top stories. Colorado's new governor lays out his plan forward for our state, and a 13-year-old Wisconsin girl feared dead has been found tonight alive. We have details, but first, traffic and weather together. Here's Darren Copeland.
Well, thank you, Roger. And
things have finally started to calm down a little bit, especially on 225 where we had problems southbound and northbound in the left lanes. They finally got the last semi out of there where there's an earlier fuel spill, so good news there. The only other thing you're really seeing after a beautiful day here is just because of the high country, you are starting to see some slowing traffic from the Vail Pass on I-70 all the way down to the west side of Eisenhower Tunnel. Everything else looking great in the metro area. I'm Darren Copeland on KOA News Radio, Colorado's news, traffic, and weather station.
Well, we're waiting on a cold front that'll roll through late tonight. After midnight tonight, we could have some rain and snow developing and an overnight low of 28. Snow off and on throughout the day on Friday. In fact, we have a winter weather advisory for Denver and a big chunk of the Front Range foothills and surrounding suburbs. Highs should be about 36 degrees. Could see 2 to 4 inches of snow downtown and up to 3 to 6 inches of snow in some of the surrounding suburbs. From CBS 4, I'm meteorologist Dave Aguilera on KOA News Radio 850 AM and 94.1 FM.
Cloudy and 42 degrees. In his first major policy speech in office, Colorado Governor Jared Polis outlined an optimistic and ambitious plan for his first year in office and promised to work to make some of his goals regarding education, climate change, health care, and energy work for all of us here in Colorado. He also promised to make sure that Colorado is the best state in the nation. Speaking at the Colorado House Chambers, Governor Polis called the 4 lawmakers to reform the state's tax code. It was one of the priorities he mentioned in his state of after they paid their debt to society. Well, let the Vic Fangio era begin. A new head coach for the Denver Broncos. President Trump's former personal attorney has accepted an invitation to testify. President Trump, it's a common sense to increase border security. Trump made that comment today while visiting a border in Texas. He said a wall or other physical barriers is the only thing to stop this 1,000-year-old crisis.
The tremendous flood of illegal immigration, drug trafficking, human trafficking, a phenomena that has been going on for 1,000 years or more.
Trump noted that he is still considering whether to declare a national emergency, which would give him the authority to redirect money from the Pentagon to spend it on his border wall. Our next update at 10:30. I'm Roger Hudson, KOA News Radio 850 AM and 94.1 FM.
This is Sue Bolts, president of Crest Kitchen and Bath. What started as a small business 65 years ago has grown tremendously, but we've never lost sight of what's important: to make sure that each and every one of our customers is satisfied with our products and our service. We're proud of our legacy and would love to be your one-stop source for all your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Let us create the kitchen or bath that's perfect for you. You'll find us in Wheat Ridge or online at CrestKitchenBath.com. That's CrestKitchenBath.com.
Let's talk about regenerative medicine for a moment, shall we? Hi, it's Mandy, and I got regenerative therapy shots in both knees from Downtown's Healthcare, and they have changed my life. I feel like I'm 10 years younger, and I can actually jog again. If you've got a joint injury that won't heal or been told you're bone on bone or need surgery, get a free consultation at Downtown's Healthcare. Call 303-292-9992. That's 303-292-9992 for Downtown's Healthcare.
Tonight, Michael Brown joins me here.
This is the former FEMA director.
Talk show host Michael Brown.
Brownie. Now.
Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
It's a heck of a show with Michael Brown.
You're on the radio.
On KOA News Radio.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently proposed a 70% top federal income tax rate. You know, I never really read whether it was a marginal tax rate or it was just 70% above a certain dollar amount. I don't really know that she knows the difference. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the top 1% of households, the top 1%, are now paying 40% of all federal income taxes. The top 1%, the 1%ers, are paying 40%, which begs the question, what's their fair share? They're also paying 26% of total federal taxes, all other taxes combined. So let's go to the top. Now that's the 1%ers. So let's go to the top 20% of households, because now, though some of you may be 1%ers, most of you are probably 20%ers. The top 20% of households now pay 88% of federal income taxes and 70% of total federal taxes, which then begs the question, what's their fair share? When I hear doofuses say, all these goobers that talk about, well, there's a big-ass difference. So the top 20% of households are paying 88% of federal income taxes and 70% of total federal taxes. They want to increase that rate, total tax rate of about 26%, while the middle quintile is not wages. His income comes from dividends, interest, and investments. So he pays capital gains rates. He probably doesn't pay, I don't know, he probably takes a salary. Let's say he takes a salary, and I don't know, maybe somebody knows and they can send me a text or something, but let's say Warren Buffett takes a salary from Berkshire of $100,000 a year. He will pay standard income tax rates on that $100,000. But most of his income comes from wealth, not from income. So I don't think that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez understands what's going to happen when she suddenly imposes a 70% tax rate, whether it's a new bracket or it's a marginal rate or what. I don't know. I don't care. But I thought you ought to know that the top 1% are already paying email today. That was it. I wish. I wake up every morning and I've got all these pitches, relationship to circumcision, which I find interesting because there's another story out today about the American Psychological Association that says traditional masculinity, which they say is marked by stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression, is, on the whole, harmful. So if you're a masculine male, as opposed to an effeminate male, I guess, you are harmful. So I guess we now live in a world where questioning whether Chelsea Manning is truly a woman can get you deplatformed on social media for hate speech, but the American Psychological Association sees traditional masculinity as a mental disorder. They just published this lengthy screed on the topic, which reads as kind of like it was compiled by assistants from some sort of college seminar on intersectional feminism. So I've tried to digest some of the most telling passages. Stephanie Pappas writes at the APA website, APA issues first ever guidelines for practice with men and boys. The APA's new guidelines for psychological practice with boys and men strive to recognize and address these problems in boys and men. Not only do we live in an S-hole country, the wussification of America is in overdrive, absolute overdrive. Let me go back to what the website says. The American Psychological Association's guidelines for psychological practice with boys and men strive to recognize and address these problems in boys and men while remaining sensitive to the field's androcentric past. 13 years in the making, they draw on more than 40 years of research showing that traditional masculinity is psychologically harmful, and that socializing boys to suppress their emotions causes damage that echoes both inwardly and outwardly. Let's back up that sentence for just a minute. Because I like how, and this is, again, Social Justice Warrior 101. What do you think of when you think of traditional masculinity? Well, I do think about what it said up there. You're stoic. You're competitive. You have a dominant personality. You're somewhat aggressive. That's kind of the male attributes, right? Now, I know that men can also be effeminate and not necessarily be very stoic, not very competitive, and be submissive and not be very aggressive. And on the other hand, I know women that can be very stoic, very competitive, very dominant, and very aggressive. But the American Psychological Association decides to use the phrase traditional masculinity and says that that is psychologically harmful. But then they add this sentence: socializing boys to suppress their emotions causes damage. Well, whoever said that traditional masculinity is somehow socializing boys to suppress their emotions? The implication is clear. Manliness is bad. So she continues writing on the website. The main thrust of the subsequent research is that traditional masculinity, again, marked by stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression, is on the whole harmful. Men socialized in this way are, how about men are just naturally that way? Men socialized in this way are less likely to engage in healthy behaviors. For example, a 2011 study led by Kristen Springer, PhD at Rutgers, found that men with the strongest beliefs about masculinity were only half as likely as men with more moderate masculine beliefs to get preventive health care. You know, when I was in the hospital 3-4 years ago, however long ago it's been, I do confess to, not because I consider myself to be necessarily masculine, although I think I am, but I was trying to put off, I was in horrible pain. And the nurses kept wanting to give me Dilaudid, which, after the nurse convinced me to take it, oh, baby, give me some Dilaudid. Wow. Put you into a nice, deep sleep, and the pain just goes away. But this one really good nurse, let me rephrase that. The only good nurse, someday I'll tell you what hospital it was. I would never go to that hospital. This nurse came in, and she said, I know that you are trying to do two things. And I thought, okay, well, this will be interesting. How can you read my mind? And she said, one, you're trying to avoid taking the pain medication because you are fearful of the addiction possibilities that come with taking this really good stuff we're going to give you. And two, your masculinity, I don't think she used the term masculinity, I think she said, because you're a man, you're trying to endure this. And I had to confess, you're right on both counts. And then she explained to me that you don't understand, for your body to heal, you need to take the pain medication. Now, what I didn't realize was that, because I had an IV drip in me anyway, I had one of those, what do you call them, a port? I had a port. What I didn't realize was that she was very, very slowly beginning to give me the pain medication anyway. And then pretty soon I start to realize what she's doing, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I could easily be an opioid addict, not necessarily an opioid addict. I could be a pain medication addict in a heartbeat. Back to the American Psychological Association. This vision of masculinity may summon up an image of closed-mouthed cowboy a la John Wayne. No, I don't think so. You know, if I said those kinds of generalizations about women, all the feminists would be up my butt in a New York minute. They would be screaming bloody murder. They would be complaining that, oh my God, you're a misogynist, you are horrible, you are evil. But for this woman to say this, make these generalizations about men, yeah, okay. She continues, when the rules of manliness bump up against issues of race, class, and sexuality, they can further complicate men's lives. Can I go back to the story about the documentary I was watching? I finally cut it off. Oh, that was there was a slip of the tongue. I'm watching a documentary today, Angie, about circumcision, and I just said, when I finally cut it off.
I heard of that.
You heard of the documentary?
I have heard of that documentary, but I haven't seen it.
Well, it was really good. So here's why I cut it off, in a manner of speaking. It started out really good with these going back and forth. It was a very objective documentary of competing medical professionals giving the pros and cons. I finally turned it off when they started tying circumcision to racism. I kid you not. Suddenly, it's all of these people talking about racism, and we got homophobia, and we got this. She writes, today, transgender issues are at the forefront of the cultural conversation, and there is increased awareness of the diversity of gender identity. What the hell does that have to do with masculinity? Which is, that kind of actually brings us to what is the possible goal of that entire exercise on their website. That is, the belief that gender is actually nothing more than a social construct. I enter into evidence this paragraph. Indeed, when researchers strip away stereotypes and expectations, there isn't much difference in the basic behaviors of men and women. I guess I just know the wrong people. Time diary studies, for example, find that men enjoy caring for their children as much as women do. Did you know that you can be masculine and still care for your children? It's probably a good thing tonight, Angie, that we're not on for a full 4 hours, because I'm getting very, very irritated.
Yeah, it bugs me too.
Doesn't it bug you?
Yeah.
And differences in emotional displays between boys and girls are small, according to a 2013 meta-analysis, Psychological Bulletin, Volume 139, Number 4, and not always in the stereotypical direction. Adolescent boys, for example, actually display
crisis from politicians and their lackeys in the press. What's your response?
My response is that those people that are saying that, anybody that says that, Tucker, is misinformed and they're misleading the American people. So before I was even chief of the Border Patrol, I served in the FBI for 2 decades. One of my assignments is I led the El Paso office. From my office, right on the border, I could see Juarez. Every single day, Tucker, we worked with the DEA and all components of DHS, and we worked human trafficking cases, we worked drug cases, and we worked and gang cases, all impacting the southern border. And then as chief, every single day, Tucker, I was briefed every single day about the men and women who are risking their lives every day, and they're apprehending murderers, rapists, pedophiles, other violent offenders, and gang members. That's not manufactured. That is real, and that's a fact, and it's still happening today. And I would also say one last point is 127 Border Patrol agents have died. They didn't die playing Monopoly. They died defending, being the front-line defenders of our borders, and trying to apprehend the 17,000 people, the bad people that Secretary Nielsen mentioned. I wonder if you ask their families if this is a manufactured crisis.
I do wonder that. I do wonder what people serving on the border of all backgrounds and political beliefs think when they hear these self-appointed experts on television refer to this as a manufactured crisis.
And I think that's the point. Self-appointed experts. I go to the experts that are really working that. I'll say the president has done that. The president is talking to the leadership of CBP and the Border Patrol and the rank and file. And those are the experts. And they're saying the wall works. It doesn't work everywhere. It's not the end all to be all, right, but it works.
It works. Did you hear about Jim Acosta going down to McAllen, Texas, and he was walking along where there's a border fence, a border wall, the steel slats. And he made the comment as total lack of self-awareness, talking about how, well, I'm down here on the border and I don't see a problem. Well, duh, you're where there's a border wall. You're listening to Michael Brown on KOA News Radio, 850 AM, 94.1 FM, and always at KOANewsRadio.com.
The home of the Broncos and new coach Vic Fangio.
We're not going to cut any corners. You wanted it, you got it, you better succeed, and I'm all in.
Welcome to Denver.
Thank you.
What's next for the Broncos? You'll hear it on KOA News Radio.
You know, I've bought more guns at one place than any other place in my entire life, and that's up in Boulder at 14th and Arapahoe. Gunsport is our kind of store. At Gunsport, you're going to find quality firearms and knives. Gunsport has a huge selection of ammo, scopes, holsters, books. Gunsport buys, they sell, they trade, and Gunsport takes consignment. At Gunsport, you'll find rare ammo, collector's guns, you name it, Gunsport's got it, or Gunsport can get it. I want you to drive up to Boulder and see for yourself why I've spent more money at Gunsport than any other single place in my entire life, at 14th and Arapahoe in Boulder. You can't miss that grand old building, and once you go inside, you're going to understand exactly why I love that place. It's a family-owned business, and they treat us like family. Ross, the owner, and Jason, the son, are going to treat everybody with respect. If you're a new gun owner, or you want to become a gun owner, Gunsport's the place to go. 14th and Arapahoe, or online, gunsport.us.
This is Sue Bolts, president of Crest Kitchen and Bath. What started as a small business 65 years ago has grown tremendously, but we've never lost sight of what's important: to make sure that each and every one of our customers is satisfied with our products and our service. We're proud of our legacy and would love to be your one-stop source for all your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Let us create the kitchen or bath that's perfect for you. You'll find us in Wheat Ridge or online at CrestKitchenBath.com. That's CrestKitchenBath.com.
Celebrate the new year with fresh, clean carpet from Zero Res. Their cleaning process means your carpets stay cleaner longer. This month, they'll clean the first 2 rooms for only $79 when you mention my name, April. Some restrictions may apply. Call 303-471-5150.
When I had my brother take me places, it was always like, we have to get there early so I can smoke a cigarette before we go inside. I'm in pain. I'm a little sister.
We always have to stop for cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. Get up first thing, smoke a cigarette. Before lunch, after lunch, another one on the way home, before dinner, after dinner. Now that I'm talking about it, I kind of feeling like I've lost about 4 hours of every day.
I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, I know. I decided I needed to find an alternative. So I started looking, and then Juul came up. I did both for a while. Eventually I just switched over, and it's very quick. I honestly feel like I remember recently you asking me, like, did you want to smoke before we go in? And I was like, no, I don't need to.
Mimi made the switch July 2015. Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Get $3 off coupons at O'Reilly Auto Parts or wherever fishing and hunting licenses are sold. Go to sportsexpos.com for store locations and show information. The Sportsman's Expo, open Thursday through Sunday at the Colorado Convention Center.
If your business is healthcare, you care about attracting the right customers. With 1 in 2 people looking to improve their health in the new year, now's the time to advertise. Getting healthy, feeling and looking better are always on the top of the resolution list. Give your campaign a healthy start with iHeartRadio. We reach 93% of Americans, and 7 out of 10 people research your business after hearing your radio ad. Make it your resolution to grow your business with iHeart. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Hi, April Zesbaugh here. I enjoy so much talking about the personal attention and financial guidance that Sunflower Bank provides because it's so unique. There's a lot of shakeup going on in banking, and Sunflower is now projected to be the largest bank headquartered in Denver in 2019. While others are shifting away from the Front Range, Sunflower is investing in it. As an example, they've expanded their local team by 50% in the past 2 years. If you haven't checked them out, it's a good time to do it online at sunflowerbank.com, member FDIC.
KOA News Radio time is 10:30. I'm Roger Hudson. Police in Wisconsin will give more details in the morning about the discovery of 13-year-old Jamie Kloss. She went missing in October when her parents were found dead, shot dead. Jamie Lee was found alive this evening in the town of Gordon, which is in the northwestern part of the state. A short time after she was found, police arrested a suspect. Jamie Lee's parents were found murdered inside their home near Barron, Wisconsin. An increasing number of federal prison guards are calling in sick to protest the partial government shutdown or possibly to work side jobs for some income. The Washington Post reports it has led to some correctional staff working double shifts without knowing when they'll get paid. There are some 36,000 federal prison guards, and because they're deemed essential, they're being asked to continue working with some pay during that shutdown. Be ready. Snow is coming back to Colorado.
We are seeing a cold front that'll come through tonight. It'll bring the biggest snow of the season so far to the Denver metro area and some of the Front Range foothills.
CBS 4's David Aguilera saying that 3 to 6 inches of snowfall is expected for the morning commute tomorrow. Former Bronco quarterback Tim Tebow, you know him, you love him. He's now engaged to former Miss Universe Demi Lee Nell Peters. According to People magazine, Tebow posted on Instagram, "Thank you for saying yes and making me the happiest man in the world." Tebow currently playing for the New York Mets. Our next update at 11 o'clock on KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1 FM.
Well, you're going to find it's a typical drive on the Metro area freeways. It's going to be cone zone activity that's going to impact it. At this time, nothing is happening. You're going to find speeds pretty close to normal just about everywhere on I-70, 6 to Lakewood, C-470, and E-470. Also, I-25 through the Tech Center, Pena Boulevard out to the airport. Nothing slowing you down at this time. On I-25 northbound at 144th, there's some sort of police activity taking place, but it's not impacting traffic at this time. If you're traveling into the high country, chain and traction laws are starting to pop up right now between Vail and Vail Pass, and there's going to be more due to the snow starting in the high countries. The CBS 4 weather after the weather is going to be after an overnight low of 29. You can expect a high tomorrow to be close to 36. Tomorrow night's low is going to drop down to 24 with snow, and then on Saturday a high of 39. Currently, it's 42. I'm Gary Aldo on KOA News Radio, Colorado's news, traffic, and weather station.
The most common New Year's resolution? Yep, you guessed it. Get in shape. So whether you're hitting the gym or doing it at home, make sure when the headphones go on, so does iHeartRadio. We've got your rock workout playlist, cardio playlist, plus health and fitness podcasts like 10% Happier, Train, and hundreds more. Stay focused on your goal and let iHeartRadio help you succeed in 2019. Your music, your stations, your podcasts, anytime, anywhere.
iHeartRadio.
I've bought more guns at one place than any other place in my life, and that's at Gunsport in Boulder. You'll find Gunsport at 14th and Arapahoe in Boulder. Easy drive. Go up and visit the guys and tell them Michael Brown sent you. Gunsport at 14th and Arapahoe or online, gunsport.us.
Our customers tell us that it's easy to love a Shane Company diamond because of its unmatched sparkle. Hi, I'm Tom Shane.
And I'm Ed. With over 30 years' experience as a diamond buying specialist, I can assure you that the unique way we buy diamonds at Shane Company sets us apart. My team handpicks the most beautiful diamonds in all 3 diamond capitals of the world, Antwerp, Tel Aviv, and Mumbai.
No other jeweler buys diamonds the way we do. We are Denver's direct diamond importer.
We examine each stone individually and only buy the prettiest diamonds within each grade. Our rigorous evaluation and selection process guarantees that your Shane Company diamond has maximum sparkle, whatever grade you choose.
And everyone in Denver knows a Shane Company diamond is a natural diamond. We've been importing the prettiest diamonds, all ethically sourced, for 4 generations. Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Retirement. It could be the best years of your life. You'll finally get to do what you want to do. Travel, golf, spend time with the grandkids, or just relax at home. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning in to Matt Clace every Saturday morning at 6 for Financial Awakening. Don't wing it, plan for it. Tune in Saturday mornings at 6 for Financial Awakening with Matt Clace of the Paradigm Group. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Get $3 off coupons at O'Reilly Auto Parts or wherever fishing and hunting licenses are sold. Go to sportsexpos.com for store locations and show information. The Sportsman's Expo, open Thursday through Sunday at the Colorado Convention Center.
Connect with Michael Brown. Find him on social media through KOANewsRadio.com.
Oh, Angie, YouTube blocked us last night.
Why? Was it the Beatles song?
Yep, it was the Beatles song.
Yeah. I knew it.
Why'd you think that?
Because apparently Beatles gets us kicked off of everything, but I was hoping it wouldn't.
Well, I let it play quite a while too.
So it's your fault.
It is my fault. I'm taking full responsibility.
As you should. It's your show.
Yeah, but you produce it. I just sit here and yammer.
But you're supposed to yammer, not listen to music.
But I like the music.
Well, so YouTube needs to change its rules then.
They do. Niles, Ohio, we got a taxpayer relief shot. And the reason I'm doing this one tonight is because, well, this is a public service announcement.
A week after police shot and killed Matthew Burrows at the Royal Mall apartment complex in Niles, Police Chief Jay Holland issued a statement.
We feel that members of our community want to hear from their police department.
Holland spoke about some of what happened on January 2nd leading up to the shooting. He says the initial responding officers were on foot at the complex looking for Burrows before he even pulled in with another cruiser behind him. Holland says Burrows' vehicle then drove towards the officers.
Officers state they perceived a threat to their safety and fired their service weapons.
What would the effect on your body be if you were run over by a car? Very likely would be fatal.
Nearly 2 years ago, the Niles Police Department was certified by the Ohio Collaborative Community Police Advisory Board.
The Ohio Collaborative Community Police Board. Ugh.
For their training and use of force policy.
Our policy states that if an officer reasonably observes a threat to his safety or his life, he may use deadly force to neutralize that threat to his life or safety.
Tom Conley with the Greater Warren Youngstown Urban League says he commends the police department for speaking out, but he's still waiting for BCI's report.
The bottom line is we have to wait for the BCI report to come out, because that report will fill in the gaps of what has happened.
Our thoughts are with our officers and with everybody involved in this. It's nothing, nobody wanted any of this to happen, but we have to react to situations we're put in.
So just as a public service announcement, I would like to encourage people that have an urge to take their vehicles and try to run down cops. Don't do it. You're going to end up dead. So just stop it. Migrants in the European Union are doing everything they can to continue to invade and take over the old continent, including doing this.
Migrants have been trying desperately any way they can to make it to Europe, and we have this shocking video showing you what two young men have been trying to do just across the Spanish border. Take a look at this.
Shocking, I say. Shocking video.
So this is video that the Spanish Civil Guard officials inspecting a mattress on top of a car. This is at a border crossing.
Now, the minute she said a mattress on top of a car, the first thing I thought of is Mitt Romney driving it. Is Mitt Romney driving this, and he's, instead of hauling dogs across the border, on vacation, is Mitt Romney now in Spain hauling migrants on hidden mattresses?
So they bring the mattress to the ground, and everything appears to be normal. This video was posted by a Spanish senator, and the authenticity of the video, as well as the events that happened, have been confirmed to the Cube by the Civil Guard. So the Guard, you can see them here opening up the mattress, and look at what they find inside. They find a young man, a migrant, who's looking dazed and confused. And this isn't all. I'm just going to scroll through this video really quickly, fast forward, and you can see that they check another mattress, this one here. And look, they do the same thing. Border officials cutting it open, and inside they find another young man. According to the Civil Guard, they tell us that these men paid a smuggler so that they could hide in the mattresses and attempt to get over to the other side of the Spanish border.
So again, a public service announcement. If you order a mattress, like one of these, you see them advertised on television. In fact, Casper, because I love Casper mattresses. But if when your mattress shows up, you might want to check just to make sure there are no migrants inside. Those of us who live in Denver were, maybe not all of us, but me. I didn't really want the Amazon HQ2 to choose Denver. Apparently, the location they were looking at is Elitch's. For those of you who don't live in Denver, that's right in the middle of downtown. It's just right near where I-70 and I-25 converge, and it is, well, there's just always traffic backups. And I can't imagine, I could not imagine 50,000 additional employees in that little neighborhood right there on the highway. Seattle City Council members have gone to New York to warn them about Amazon.
In New York City, 2 Seattle city councilors warned activists and local leaders about the potential unwanted consequences of the new Amazon headquarters due to be built in Queens, New York. At a Monday organizing event, they said Seattle did not respond fast enough to Amazon's expansion, which left Seattle with a housing crisis as real estate prices soared. The councilors urged New Yorkers to resist an unfettered corporate takeover and demand fair labor conditions.
I just don't want all the people here. But I love how NPR has to, no, this is not NPR. This is a Democracy Now! Democracy Now! Announcing, yeah, you don't want a corporate takeover of your community.
Since Amazon's announcement of its HQ2 plans in November, community organizations and some local leaders have been protesting the move. Last month, workers at a new Amazon fulfillment center in Staten Island announced plans to unionize, citing safety, long hours, and low pay as some of their concerns.
And as long as we're just doing bizarro stories, how about a principal that holds a mock funeral as a means of trying to motivate teachers? A mock funeral. I think the next time I'm asked to give a motivational speech somewhere, I'll just wheel in a coffin and say, you better get motivated because otherwise you can end up dead right there.
The first picture seems odd but well-intended, perhaps. A flyer with a student holding a report card with a heading that reads, "In loving memory of Mrs. 2 and 3 years behind." Other pictures I obtained showed what appears to be a casket and memorial. It's actually a basket and inside a baby doll. This is what teachers at Getwell Elementary School say they saw when the principal invited them to a meeting, a mock funeral.
She has insulted those people. That is an insult.
It's an insult. She has insulted those people. It is an insult.
Invite me back to school the first day, not for a funeral?
The intention was to inspire teachers to raise test scores. Getwell needs to improve. According to the website Public School Review, the elementary school scored at the bottom 50% for math and reading in 2015 in the state.
Her point was, she's saying, we were burying the data.
We were burying the data. Burying the data. That's what we were doing. We're burying the data. Oh, everybody, you know, the outrage level in this country is just outrageous. It is. There, I said it.
That we are burying, and she used the song "Children Are Our Future."
Williams tells me the principal told teachers to act as if they were mourning. What should have been a moment to inspire backfired.
Some of the teachers who had recently had challenges with childbirth were overwhelmed and just left the room. And some of them are off today because of it.
I called Getwell Elementary to ask the principal for an explanation, but she never returned my call. The administration emailed me to say the event was designed to renew the focus and commitment of staff members in the new year. After hearing complaints, the principal acknowledged the activity could be seen as insensitive and apologized.
Insensitive. You can't be insensitive anymore. Have you ever thought about the fact that whatever you do is interpreted by somebody else? Someone who hears you? Like, I say stuff all the time that I know is insensitive, but I don't care. I also recognize that whatever I say, whether it's insensitive or it's sensitive or whatever it might be, you're going to interpret it the way you choose to interpret it. And I have no control over that. So was this teacher's idea of holding a mock funeral a good way to motivate teachers? I don't get it, but I'm not outraged about it. But apparently that old boy is. He's really upset about it. Speaking of Seattle, Usually it's California. A new report estimates that almost 100% of Seattle's new tax on the distribution of sugary beverages has been passed on to consumers through higher in-store prices. I got to just say, who saw that coming? The Seattle Times reports that sodas have increased in price more than sugar-sweetened juices and bottled coffee drinks. And smaller stores have increased their prices more than supermarkets, according to the report by the University of Washington researchers. Let's back that sentence up for a minute. Smaller stores generally have higher prices because you're paying for the convenience of not having to wander all through the grocery store to pick up your sugary drink. Additionally, some smaller stores have increased their prices even for beverages not subject to the tax, such as diet sodas. Seattle's tax of 1.75 cents per ounce, which took effect in January of last year, is charged to the distributors of sugar-sweetened beverages. Distributors can pass the tax on to stores. Stores pass the tax on to consumers. And there you have it, boys and girls. Right there, you got the economics lesson of the night. I know, it was obvious to all of us. But the Seattle Times had to make a big to-do out of it. Speaking of taxes, you know, the state of Illinois, that I don't know why I make fun of California, Washington, Illinois, New York, because you know what? We are right now the frogs in the pot of water. And they've just turned the fire on the stove. Well, we don't feel it yet. No, we don't feel it yet. But Governor Polis gave his State of the State address today. The General Assembly, the state legislature, is back in session. And, well, the liberals are in control. Pretty soon, slowly but surely, we're going to wake up and realize that, we're just like California. We're just like Washington. We're just like New York. We're just like any number of states that have gone into the crapper just because, well, I don't know. You get what you want. Cash-desperate Illinois is now taxing lap dances. Well, let me just read let me do a little reading for you here. As anyone who's ever stepped into a gentleman's club knows, lap dances can get pretty pricey. But owners of an Illinois strip joint believe the nearly $2 million tax bill they received for lap dance services is a bit much. Court records show that proprietors of Polecat's Gentlemen's Club, a strip club in Bridgeview, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, are suing Cook County, alleging that its revenue department is illegally demanding $1.7 million for lap dances under the amusement tax code. That figure includes interest and penalties, according to the Cook County record. Now, you may not be familiar with amusement taxes, which are, well, they're pretty new. In the late 1970s, amusement taxes were virtually non-existent, accounting for only $120 million in aggregate among the 90,000 government units in the United States. I didn't intend to go off on this tangent, but this is a good time to go off on a tangent. We have 90,000 government taxing units in the good old US of A. I say we need more. Why stop at 90,000? Let's get to a good round figure of 100,000 government taxing units. But state and local governments, see, I got the chart here. By 1997, amusement tax revenues had increased more than tenfold to $1.95 billion. Less than a decade later, the figure had tripled to more than $6 billion nationwide. Good grief. Let's see, 1960, total government expenditure, state and local, $56.1 billion. 2015, $3 trillion. Illinois, an amusement tax pioneer, the land of Lincoln. Let's see, they expanded the amusement tax to cover streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu. Now they're charging PlayStation users. You know, if you can buy it, own it, possess it, they can tax it. And the more they tax, the more they spend. And the more they spend, the worse things get. Jordan Peterson was on the other day because he and Dave Rubin have decided to drop Patreon, and they're going to, they're going to just start trying to collect their contributions through their websites. But when they made the announcement, Jordan Peterson had something to say that I thought was just brilliant.
One of the things that I can't fathom, in some sense, is the lack of imagination on the part of the people who are engaging in censorship of what they regard as hate speech. Like, there's an old military adage, which is that if you invent a weapon, it will be used by your enemy within 15 years. Okay, so what makes the people on the left, because they're the ones who are doing this, as you can clearly see in the Change the Terms website, what makes them so sure that exactly the same tactics won't be used against them, like at the drop of a hat, once the tactics have been validated and put in place?
And that fits in perfectly with what I was saying last night about everybody believes that socialism is so great because on the front end, it sounds so good. Why, everybody gets taken care of. Everything is guaranteed. It's a utopia. Until suddenly you realize that human nature kicks in. And if everything's guaranteed, human nature basically says, well, if you're going to guarantee me an income or you're going to guarantee me health care, there's really not much incentive to go out and try to earn a next dollar of income. Well, the same thing is true with this whole concept of hate speech. Sounds really good now because people are saying things that are hurting other people's feelings. And I think we ought to be concerned about other people's feelings. Because, well, if they're hurt, shame, shame, shame on you. So everybody who's out there advocating that we need more hate speech regulation, whether it be on Google or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or any of the social media websites, or it just happens to be anywhere. I know for a fact, I talked to a friend the other day who, got to be careful because I can't do any identification here, who told me that in the big-ass company that he works for, and it's not this company, but in the big-ass company, because I don't want you to think I'm talking about this company, in the big-ass company that he works for, they're actually putting out directives about what people can say and not say. Well, if you're having a conversation with a coworker, do you have to carry the personnel manual around? Do you have to carry around the 18-page memo that they distributed about how to address your coworkers? That will eventually bite somebody in the butt. And eventually, just as Jordan Peterson says, those kinds of things get used against you. That old military saying.
What makes the people on the left, because they're the ones who are doing this, as you can clearly see in the Change the Terms website, what makes them so sure that exactly the same tactics won't be used against them, like at the drop of a hat, once the tactics have been validated and put in place?
And I think that's the important point to note, because once the tactics are validated, the tactics will be used against everyone, including those who advocated for those tactics. watch what you wish for.
That's pretty much all I got.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building.
Tomorrow on Colorado's Morning News.
Looking at the race for the White House in 2020.
Who will the Democrats